Shock waves rippled through the Middle East after reports emerged of a devastating missile strike targeting one of Israel's most critical communication infrastructures. The facility was believed to be the country's main satellite communication hub linked to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Strategic Command Network, according to regional media and security reports. Iranian forces allegedly launched one of their most advanced weapons, the Fattah-1 hypersonic ballistic missile, toward the installation. The strike reportedly targeted a key satellite communication hub responsible for strategic military coordination and intelligence data transmission. It also handled secure communication between Israel's defense leadership and operational units. Israeli defense systems quickly detected the incoming projectile after launch. However, the missile approaching Israeli airspace was not a conventional ballistic missile. Instead, it represented a far more complex and difficult threat for interception systems. Before analyzing how the strike reportedly unfolded and why the Fattah-1 hypersonic missile is considered one of the most advanced weapons in Iran's arsenal, it is important to understand its significance. Analysts say the strike represents one of the most daring long-range precision attacks in the escalating confrontation. The reported destruction at the satellite hub quickly became a major topic across global security discussions. According to military analysts monitoring the incident, the missile traveled at extremely high speeds, reportedly exceeding Mach 13. Such velocity firmly places it within the hypersonic category. Hypersonic weapons move so quickly that defensive systems have only seconds to detect, track, and attempt interception. This extremely limited reaction time creates enormous challenges for traditional missile defense networks. Speed, however, is only one part of the challenge. The Fattah-1 missile was reportedly designed with a maneuverable warhead capable of adjusting its trajectory during flight. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles that follow predictable paths, hypersonic weapons can change direction while traveling toward their targets. This maneuverability dramatically complicates interception attempts and increases the chances of reaching the intended target. As the missile crossed into Israeli airspace, radar systems reportedly detected the threat and activated defensive protocols. Air defense batteries began tracking the incoming object as it moved rapidly toward the communications facility. Israeli missile defense systems, including the well-known Iron Dome network, were activated in response to the approaching threat. Interceptors were launched in an attempt to neutralize the missile before it reached its target. However, according to reports surrounding the strike, the interception attempt was unsuccessful. The hypersonic missile continued traveling along its trajectory at extreme speed, moving closer to the satellite communications installation. Seconds later, the missile reportedly struck the facility. A powerful explosion shook the area surrounding the communications hub as the projectile impacted its intended target. The blast was described as intense, sending debris and shock waves across the infrastructure of the installation. Satellite communication hubs are highly complex facilities. They contain antenna arrays, communication towers, data centers, and power systems that enable secure transmission of signals between satellites and ground networks. Damage to such a facility can disrupt several layers of communication infrastructure at the same time. Early reports suggested the missile strike caused extensive damage to multiple structures within the communications complex. Large antenna towers responsible for transmitting signals to orbiting satellites were reportedly destroyed in the explosion. These towers are essential components of satellite communication networks. Such towers transmit encrypted signals between ground stations and satellites located thousands of kilometers above Earth. Without them, the ability to send and receive data through those channels becomes severely compromised. Their destruction, therefore, represents a significant disruption to communication capabilities. The blast also reportedly damaged multiple satellite dishes and transmission arrays located throughout the complex. These structures are designed to capture signals transmitted from space and route them into ground-based networks. Missile impacts in such areas can shatter equipment, sever connections, and disable communication pathways. Analysts reviewing the situation reported that several transmission systems inside the facility were rendered inoperable after the strike. When core communication equipment is destroyed, restoring full operational capacity can take considerable time. Repairs often require specialized hardware and highly secure technical procedures. The missile impact also reportedly triggered fires across parts of the installation. Satellite hubs contain numerous electronic systems and power generators needed to maintain continuous operations. Explosions near these systems can quickly spread flames through wiring networks and sensitive equipment. Emergency response teams were reportedly dispatched to the scene as flames and smoke rose above sections of the complex. Fire crews worked to contain the spreading fires and prevent further damage. However, the destruction extended beyond visible antenna structures. Reports indicated the strike also affected the facility's internal data processing infrastructure. Communication hubs contain secure data centers responsible for signal routing, encryption, and coordination of communications. These centers house servers, networking hardware, and specialized equipment used for handling secure communication traffic. When missile strikes damage such facilities, the impact can ripple across multiple layers of communication networks. According to analysts, destruction of sections of the hub temporarily disrupted secure communication channels linked to the installation. This disruption could affect certain satellite communication services connected to military coordination, intelligence sharing, and command communication. For military planners, losing or disrupting such infrastructure presents a serious operational challenge. Satellite communication hubs allow command centers to transmit orders, monitor operations, and maintain secure links with military units across large distances. Damage to these systems can slow communication flow and force operators to rely on backup networks. Iranian officials described the strike as a demonstration of the capabilities of their newest missile technology. Statements attributed to Iranian commanders suggested the Fattah-1 missile had been specifically designed to overcome modern missile defense systems. Its hypersonic speed and maneuverability were intended to make interception extremely difficult. Iran had previously unveiled the Fattah missile program as part of a broader effort to develop advanced missile technologies. The weapon was presented as a strategic breakthrough capable of striking distant targets with remarkable precision. Military analysts had earlier warned that hypersonic missiles pose unique challenges to existing defense systems. Traditional missile defense networks are primarily designed to intercept projectiles that follow predictable ballistic paths. Hypersonic missiles break this pattern by maneuvering while traveling at extremely high speeds. This ability significantly reduces the reaction time available to defensive systems in the case of the reported strike on Israel's satellite communication hub. These capabilities appear to have played a decisive role. Despite attempts by defensive systems to intercept the incoming missile, the projectile ultimately reached its target. The destruction at the communications facility quickly became one of the most dramatic developments in the escalating confrontation. Satellite communications represent one of the most critical elements of modern military infrastructure. They enable secure communication, intelligence sharing, and coordination across vast geographic distances. Damaging a major satellite hub therefore carries implications beyond immediate physical destruction. It can disrupt the flow of information that supports military and security operations. The strike also highlighted how modern conflicts increasingly target technological infrastructure. Communication networks, radar systems, satellite hubs, and data centers have become essential components of national defense systems. When these systems are damaged, the consequences can ripple through multiple layers of operational capability. Such attacks can weaken coordination and slow response times during critical operations. For Israel, the communications hub targeted in the strike reportedly played a key role in managing satellite links supporting defense coordination. Its antenna arrays connected ground networks with satellites used for monitoring and intelligence operations. By striking such a facility, analysts believe Iranian planners aimed to disrupt a critical node within Israel's communication infrastructure. The attack also carried symbolic significance. Striking a communications hub associated with national leadership sends a powerful strategic message. It demonstrates the capability to target sensitive infrastructure linked to command networks. As the situation unfolded, analysts around the world began examining the broader implications of the strike. The use of a hypersonic missile in an operational scenario marked a notable development in modern missile warfare. Hypersonic weapons are widely considered one of the most transformative military technologies of the modern era. Their speed and maneuverability make them extremely difficult to intercept using existing defense systems. Countries around the world have been racing to develop such weapons in recent years. The reported use of the Fattah-1 missile highlighted how these technologies may reshape strategic calculations. For defense planners, the incident raised serious questions about the effectiveness of current missile defense systems against hypersonic threats. If such weapons can evade interception and strike critical infrastructure, they may significantly alter the balance between offensive and defensive military capabilities. The destruction at the satellite communication hub therefore represents more than a single strike. It signals the emergence of a new phase in modern warfare. In this phase, hypersonic weapons may reach strategic targets at extraordinary speeds, potentially exposing new vulnerabilities in even heavily protected infrastructure as emergency. Teams assessed the damage at the communications facility. Global attention remained focused on the unfolding situation. The strike had not only destroyed infrastructure but also demonstrated the growing role of advanced missile technologies in shaping geopolitical conflict. If hypersonic missiles become more widely used in future confrontations, the implications for global security could be significant. In the aftermath of the strike, engineers and military analysts began evaluating the broader consequences for Israel's communication infrastructure. Temporary rerouting of satellite links and activation of emergency communication channels were reportedly required to maintain operational coordination. The incident ultimately highlighted how vulnerable advanced technological networks can become when targeted by next-generation missile systems.